Oh, sorry, I was just mewing. But I guess since I broke my 3 month mewing streak now, I can just also make this video. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about this ongoing trend that I've been observing now, where people use all kinds of quote unquote self improvement advice to fix the issues in their life that I have. Again, in hopes that like some weird secret method, helps them get bitches. Because let's be honest, that's essentially what it all comes down to, right? And I just want to talk about how that's dumb. All right, yeah, I know. Me and my wisdom again. You don't have to thank me, but yeah, no, seriously. It's weird. Like every time I open social media these days, it feels like people have figured out some new way to get like insecure about something, or rather, I discover some new way to get insecure about something every week I open social media. It's like last week it was my jawline, and 2 weeks ago, or like a few, at some point I remember I was like, I don't know. I was. They made me think about all kinds of shit, like things I never even paid attention to. Like, what is the ratio of like your nose width to like your eyes, or like, okay, how tall are you? Which is a classic. And that is something that I think that's just naturally wired in our brain. But yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Or like my hands, like do my hands look weird? Are they not manly enough or something like that? Like you can get insecure about all kinds of shit these days, and I think this is something that is a rather recent development. I think people like 50 or 100 years ago didn't have to worry about this kind of shit. Um, Obviously, there were like exceptions, like height, for example. I think people have been always insecure, or like men have always been insecure about their height because obviously, like, if you're tall, then you're more intimidating. If you're smaller, then you're less intimidating, right? Unless you're like Mike Tyson or something, who's like 5'10", which is a great height, by the way. Like that's like super tall. I mean, 5'10", like everything above 5'10", is frankly too tall. Okay, like except like I'm obviously taller than that, right? Because I'm massive. I'm a fucking giant. But like different topic. Anyway, so like I feel like people 50 years ago or something, they didn't have to really worry about this shit. They didn't have to worry about keeping up their mewing streak, or like uh, doing exercises and doing all kinds of weird shit that supposedly gets them makes them manlier or more appealing to the opposite sex, right? And yeah, that is not me saying that self improvement in general is bad. Like, I am probably one of the biggest self improvement gurus you will ever see. Um, but I think that the problem is just that where that motivation to do self improvement is oftentimes external nowadays, which is to some degree you could argue that self improvement is always external, right? You do something so your life becomes better in a way, right? Um, but I feel like, let's look at exercises, for example, right? Like, as someone who regularly goes to the gym, I can tell you that getting stronger and bigger does not get you bitches. Like, it just doesn't. Money gets you bitch. Now, okay, but like, um, yeah, it just fucking doesn't. And I mean, nowadays I'm not like too lean anymore. I'm not cut. I've only really been like cut once. That was like a year ago or something. I've put on a little bit of weight, a little bit of fluff. Nothing too crazy. And but same thing. Like sometimes I catch myself thinking like, hey, if I just lose this weight and have like a fucking six pack, then surely then I will get bitches, right? Surely then that must be it. When realistically, it doesn't really change anything. It's like, maybe my face becomes like slightly leaner, but that's also like, it will barely be noticeable, and it's certainly not gonna make someone as bitchless as me not bitchless, right? And that's like, yeah, another thing that I think people just kind of have to realize, that it just doesn't work. And yeah, I wanted to say something, but I kind of forgot. I have to I have to kind of buy some time now. So like right. So like every week, it seems like on the topic of exercise, for example, right? I mean, exercise is good for you, and you should. I'm definitely, I'm definitely advocating for exercise and stuff. But like, it feels like every week I open like, or every day essentially, when I open up my YouTube and I get like some recommended like, oh, you've been doing bench press all wrong, and it's like, and then there's like some pic of like some dude like, oh, you do bench press like this, and it's like this scrawny fucking Fortnite player or something, and then in the after pic is like, and this is how if you buy my course and do like this special method, then like, then it's like fucking I don't know, Markus Rühl, John Cena, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman kind of guy or something. A combination of just all of them too, like fused together or something. I don't fucking know, but like you get what I mean, right? It's like, and then even I sometimes think like, maybe I should click this video. It's like only 5 minutes, right? And if it changes everything about what I know about working out, that's 5 minutes is nothing. At the end of the day, when I click on these videos, that's usually like the most bare bones, like basic advice, like, oh, have you thought about maybe using your full range of motion? Have you thought about that? Have you? Have you not thought about that? You can think about that if you buy my course. Yeah, just that kind of shit, right? And the problem really is that, for one, again, it doesn't work. There isn't like some super kind of special technique. And the reason for that is because I feel like people are not really addressing the core problem. And, when it comes to bitchlessness, what really works isn't, getting like jacked or doing this or doing that, which, don't get me wrong, it might improve your chances slightly, but if you're screwed already, then it probably won't change a lot. Let's just say it like that, right? And the underlying problem is that many of us don't really socialize anymore, right? That's like, I saw like this video of like this YouTuber like I forgot how to pronounce his name, like Gerbert or something. Um, it's funny, I actually discovered him after I already made videos like these, because I saw that he made like the essentially the same fucking videos that I do, from like, the general, hey, I just sit in front of a camera and talk about like things that go wrong and things that go wrong in life, so like, yeah, but like he also talked about like community and shit, and how that doesn't really exist anymore. And to some degree, I think he is right. I think, um, you know, I don't know if that's like just some made up thing or something, but it's like you all have like this one friend who's like, who has just more friends than you have, like way more friends. You have like this one guy who seemingly knows everyone, right? And you only know him. So if you're lucky, then you might also know some of his friends. But at the end of the day, like you're not a network guy, like you're not that guy, buddy. Like you're just a fucking NPC, like the side quest that he sometimes talks to, right? But he's like the main character. Like he is talking to like all those people, and that's why he gets bitches and you don't. Obviously, like broadly speaking, maybe he doesn't get any bitches and you get the, I don't know, but like you get the idea, right? The problem is that a lot of us more introverted, slightly nerdier type of people, we just don't really get out. And um, the thing is, like, there are plenty of people who really do not look attractive, who, um, from like the, I don't know, like black pill manosphere or whatever, would get like a 2 out of 10 rating or whatever, like bad genetics in terms of looks, don't have a lot of money, not super intelligent, not this, not that, and they still have a girlfriend, right? I see that shit every day, like not every day, but you get the idea, right? And then you think like, whoa, what the fuck? How are these guys doing it? And the secret is just like, these guys are probably, you know, like maybe if, let's say, your value, I don't I don't know, like obviously there's some subjectivity to it, but like let's assume that everyone really has like a fixed value of what their attractiveness is or something, right? You have like these lower value men who still get more action than I guess a higher value man. Like not saying that I'm like a high value guy. Like I'm just a guy. I'm just a random guy, right? Um, and yeah, but if you like, it's like rolling a dice, right? If you just roll the dice again and again, then you will get lucky. And even if your odds, if you're a guy who has like slightly better odds, if you don't really roll the dice, then you're still screwed. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't really matter if you're like a decent looking guy and have like things under control. Like, if you don't go out, then like they're not gonna spawn. The girls are not gonna spawn in your room, bro. Like, you're still gonna be alone. And I think that's like a very common problem nowadays. That it's not that people always think like, oh, like it's like that one wonder pill. Like I just have to like get a bit of jawline or do this and do that, and then I will suddenly get bitches. But it's more like I feel like more like of a combination of things that all tie into being unsociable, right? Like in my case, for example, like I'm not the best looking guy, but I'm not terrible looking either. I'm decently in shape, like not super in shape, but I'm also not super out of shape or whatever. But the combination of factors that it all comes down to is like I'm a little bit nerdy. I like to be a hermit sometimes, or more often than not. I kind of have a hard time making new friends, and I don't have a really strong community around me that pushes me like to meet new people. And boom, what do you know? Suddenly, like you're 25, never had a girlfriend before. Like it sometimes, yeah, it really just fucking be like that. And again, it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. Um, but yeah, that's essentially the problem. That something that you can do as many reps as you want at the gym, but you have to do some reps of social interaction if you really want to, get things going for yourself. So, yeah, I feel like that's my problem, and that's what it all comes down to. And I think a lot of people that I know also have the same problem. Like, I know guys that, I'm not just saying that because they're my friends, right? But I have like guys who genuinely are not bad looking. Like, I mean, obviously they're my homies. I would suck their dick. I mean, obviously they're my homies, so I would never say that they're ugly, right? But I have like some guys who genuinely like I know that they're not ugly people, right? Um, but they don't get any bitches, and I know for a fact that okay, maybe they're a little bit weird because they hang out with me, right? But like, they're not ugly people. They're not super like them. They're not ugly people. They're not insults or like evil or this and that. They're just normal guys. They're just kind of introvert and they don't have a big social circle. And they don't get any bitches like I do, right? And I feel like that's the problem that it all comes down to. So, yeah, keep doing self improvement, right? That's better than that's better than doing nothing. But um, I just want to say that just don't be disappointed afterwards if you do all that shit, and then yeah, you realize if you go to the gym and get jacked, you get the boys to look at you, but you don't really get any girls because of that. Not solely because of that, at least, right? So yeah, that's my wisdom of the day. I'll see you someday. Yeah, peace out.